quick disclaimer. I'm extremely scatterbrained today, so I barely remember any of the books I read last month. Hi, hello, and welcome everybody to my March wrap-up. This is gonna be a weird one. I already apologize in advance because my brain is not working. I read a little over 20 books last month. I barely even put them into my reading tracker. I have absolutely no clue what went on in any of them. These are the physical books I read, and I talked about all of these books in this reading vlog. I will tell you something about them here, right? This is what we do. But at the same time, this is fresher in my memory, alright? But let's just start chronologically with all the books, alright? I started my month out with an 11-book Mafia romance series. Yes, you heard that correctly. I read 9 of these books, I think, or maybe 8. I don't know. I honestly don't remember anything about them. This is the Perfectly Imperfect series. This is the first book, Painted Scars. Don't remember anything. I do not remember a single thing about these 9 books that I read. Why did I read 9? Let me get you up to speed. The last book in this series is not out yet, so I could not read that. And the second book I've already read 2 years ago. Didn't remember anything, of course. I almost read it twice until I realized, well, if my Kindle is starting at the last page of the book, that means I've already read this book. So, if you can't tell, Mafia romance is my way of dealing with stress. So, I was stressed this last month. But anyway, these are honestly fun. I'm pretty sure that I DNF'd one of them when reading the tropes, and I was like, cheating trope, not my thing. I think that was what went through my head. These were a fun and good time, and if you're looking for Mafia romance, these are solid, okay? They're in no way amazing books that are gonna make your life better, but they were a fun time and a short time, because as I said, I read these books all in like 3 days. I'm pretty sure it was one weekend and I did nothing except read those books. I stayed up super late at night to read these books. But of course, we are not done. In between these, I also read this book. It's Not Sharing the Ice. It's a Christmas Omegaverse novella. It's cute, it's sweet. I've read the other books in this series. Again, comfort book for me. It's just easy. If you don't know, Omegaverse stories rarely have any real struggles, right? They don't really struggle with their relationships. It's like a fated mate situation. You know they're gonna turn out great, which is why I like to read them, because these are like my happy world books for some reason, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but they're very cozy. This one, very short, they're very low stakes. I like reading about them, alright? It's just something that I really like. Same with the Mafia romance. Even though they are kind of like higher stakes, the issue is rarely a romantic issue. It's mostly like we have an enemy and the enemy is trying to unalive us all. And somehow they all survive. It always ends good. Like, I rarely ever read a book that does not have a happily ever after. I'm here for that. Alright, happily ever afters and me, we are a team. After this entire whole mess, I went into these romance books, so let's talk about each and every one of them. Starting, of course, with Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is, as like all of the books in this series, a single dad romance, and it was amazing. I don't know if you need to know much about Elsie Silver books, other than that you need to actually pick them up because they are so good. This is about a very grumpy guy who is the landlord to our main character's sister. The main character's sister has a little baby boy. The sister dies, and he somehow gets custody of this boy because the sister put it in her will. However, he has a secret that he wants nobody to know about. So he kind of moves into her small town so that they can co-parent this child together. But also he needs to go to Florida because what's his sport again? The one where you hit people. Not boxing. I'm so bad at this. Why are you even watching this video? Because maybe I'm entertaining. Maybe me not remembering things is entertaining to you. It sure as heck is not entertaining to me. Wrestling! He's a wrestler. He's a pro wrestler. Okay, that's what he does. That's his job. He's also American. I'm not going to tell you what's on the back of this because I think it spoils most of the book. So if you are interested in what I just told you, pick it up. It's incredible. I love him. I enjoyed her to a certain extent. He was like the best thing about this book. I read Wild Side by Elsie Silver and I loved it. After that, I read Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young, which was also incredible. This is about a married couple who are kind of coming to a point of their marriage where they're like, is this the right thing? They've been together for ages. If you've read Out on a Limb, these two are like the side characters, like the best friends of the other two in Out on a Limb, so that's really cool. And we're meeting them, we're getting to know their story. The funny thing about this is that these two characters, they love each other from the beginning, but they are realizing that their relationship takes effort and that they have to communicate more, and that's kind of what they're learning at this outdoor retreat that they're going to. It's really sweet. It's a little bit of a different story because the whole time you're just hoping that their relationship turns out okay. Realistically, you know it will, because it's a published romance book, but at the same time you're like, how can they save this? How can this go on? I personally really liked it. It is kind of more low stakes. I enjoyed this a lot. I know that some people didn't really like it, but I really did. So that's good, I think. It's important that I like the book. And anyway, this was fun. After that, I read First Time Caller, which was also a very good book. All the books that I have here in like physical form were fun, except for one. We're getting to that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. First Time Caller is a Sleepless in Seattle inspired romance book. He works at a radio show, like a late night romance guide radio show. He gives romance tips, alright? And her daughter calls in and is like, hey, my mom needs serious help with her relationships. So they start talking, she starts going on this radio show and has like a segment of learning how to date because apparently she's hard to date, when in reality she just hasn't found a person who fits with her, right? A person who just clicks. And we all know that this man is the person who clicks with her. However, they don't know that yet. So this is their romance. I thought it was cute. I had a great time. And honestly, anything that B.K. Borison writes, I will read. So this wasn't a question of whether I liked it, but just a question of how much I loved it. And I did actually love it a lot. I also read Beg, Borrow, or Steal, which is a love story between two enemies who are also elementary school teachers. Okay, they teach second grade, but at the same time, they're both enemies because they think they like the other person and they think the other person doesn't like them, when it's not true. He used to be engaged to somebody else, he moved away, he comes back because that engagement didn't work out, and he comes back to this town because he realizes that she is like his only constant in his life. So he comes back, they live next to each other, it's fun, it's a good time. I liked this. This was enjoyable. I really had a great time reading this. I, again, heard some people say they didn't really like it, but I'm a fan of Sarah Adams books, so this was actually the book for me, and I had a great time reading it. So that's that. Now, the only romance book I did not enjoy this month is How to End a Love Story. This is about an author who moves to Los Angeles because her book is getting a screen adaptation and she is supposed to work with the screenwriters to like create the movie for her book. However, the person who is supposed to work with her is the guy who was involved in a car accident in which her sister died years ago. Everybody's blaming him. We all know that it's not his fault, and I did not finish this book. I think I stopped it like 100 pages in because I just couldn't find sense in it. It just didn't make sense for me why he was still working there. It didn't make sense why she worked there. It didn't make sense that they actually agreed to do this when she has a good reason to not like him, but also he has a reason to not like her, but he doesn't. If I was involved in an accident that accidentally killed somebody, I would stay far, far away from that family. But he doesn't. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense. I did not enjoy this book. I hope you do if you pick it up. Please tell me if you liked it. I just did not. The last physical book that I read was this one. This is Our Infinite Fates. And this, let me tell you, is amazing. This is so Exile by Taylor Swift coded. You don't even know how much. This is about a girl and a boy who fall in love in every single lifetime. However, a few days before her 18th birthday, he ends up unaliving her in every single lifetime. And the difference is that they remember every single lifetime. The plot twist in this, I was not ready for it. I did not expect it. It was plot twisty. and it was good. I really enjoyed this. I liked their romance. This is, of course, a romantasy in the sense that it is first and foremost a romance, and the fantasy, sure, it's in there, but it's not the most important part about the story. This in itself was amazing. I really liked how they kind of grew up together every single time, and then she didn't really know why he said he loved her, but at the same time he also killed her every single time. This is amazing. Okay, this is so much fun. Also her trying to figure out who he is because they look different in every lifetime. Sometimes they even change genders in the lifetime. This honestly is such a great book. I absolutely loved it, and I need more people to read it because it was so fun. And then I read what could be described as my all-time favorite hockey romance ever. This is Slapshot. It's the third book in a book series that is on Kindle Unlimited, but I am pretty sure I'm gonna get the paperbacks at some point because this one was amazing. The first and second book I read sometime last year, and they were also very good. But this was like the cherry on top of the cupcake. That's not how you say it, right? Anyway, this book was so much fun. He is a kind of more reserved hockey player. He's not a playboy kind of hockey player. He is like a golden retriever, the nicest person you will ever meet, but he needs a cook. He's stressed throughout the season, so he's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna get a professional cook. Now, our female main character, she has a kid, okay, and she's like, I need to provide for my kid. She then starts cooking for him because, like, they have connections through people, and let me tell you, this was the cutest romance I ever read. It was amazing. The chemistry between the two was on point. I liked every single thing about it. He learned sign language for her kid. I am a sucker for that. I love when books I read have a little bit of a disability thing. Like, representation is so important, and this is such a great way to incorporate it. I absolutely loved every single second of reading this, and I'm pretty sure that you will too. This book was incredible. And honestly, probably my favorite book of the month. Talking about disability representation, next I read this. This is His Tesoro. I'm thinking, I'm not fluent in Italian, okay? I might live very close to Italy, but I am not fluent in Italian. I could ask my roommate, but then again, I don't want to, because I really don't want to. Anyway, this is another Mafia romance. With the twist, she has a chronic illness. She has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which honestly, seeing this represented so good. I myself am a person who struggles so much with chronic pain. I don't have a diagnosis yet, okay? I'm in the middle of it. My family has some known chronic health issues that are genetic, so I am predisposed to some things, but seeing a character on like the page of my book struggling with life the way I struggle sometimes, it was so well done. And their romance was so cute and I liked it, and it was overall just such a great experience. I'm not going to tell you much about what this book is about, but it is an arranged marriage situation, which if you read a lot of Mafia romance, that's completely normal, that's completely fine, we don't mind, we don't. This man, he is amazing. Honestly, Mafia men in these books, always very good people, weirdly enough, which does not make sense because I'm guessing real life, not like that, but in books, very fun. And that's not where the Mafia romance bandwagon stops, because after that I went down another rabbit hole of another series. Now, the first book of this series, which is When She Unravels, I read this like 2 years ago and it was so good. This was probably one of my favorite Mafia romances I've ever read. So I gave the rest of this series another shot, and I read When She Tempts, When She Falls, and When She Loves, which are book 2, 3, and 4. These were all fine, okay? They weren't as incredible as the first book was. They were fine. They were interesting. Again, like Mafia romances, so what exactly are you expecting? But they were a good time. And then I also read a duology, which is kind of set in the same world, which is When He Desires and When He Takes. Now, with this one I do remember, because the first book, I was debating whether or not I should actually finish it. It was so bad. But also, the romance was so fun, and I could see the potential, so I was very glad when in the second book it was all better. Now let me tell you why I didn't like the first one and why I actually enjoyed the second book. In the first book, he is kind of exiled from the Mafia, where he used to work, where he grew up. He's exiled into this small town. So essentially, this first book is more of a small town romance. But it's also kind of weird because he meets her, is immediately obsessed with her, moves in next door, they kind of hate each other, and then, because she says, oh, I'm moving away, he burns down her house. I'm sorry? He does what? So he burns down her house, he lies to her, then he kidnaps her, and for some reason she also has ties to like a local gang. I was just not happy with it. However, the second book, that was fun because at least in that one there weren't any lies involved because the lying was over. The cat was out of the bag in the second book, so I could enjoy that. I just don't like lying. In my books, in real life, just no. I will not lie to you. In return, I expect you to not lie to me. And my books to not lie to me either. Anyway, the second book then was a lot better, like really a lot better. I really enjoyed that one, but I couldn't just forget what the first one did to me. So overall, this was not it. This is where we are right now, okay? This is where we are at because, hold on, let me grab it. I tried, okay? I've been trying to finish this book for 2 weeks now. I started reading this immediately after filming that first reading vlog that I told you about, and I am still only halfway through the book. I did try to read it, and I'm not going places, because somehow it's not working for me. I will try again this month, but I'm not making any promises. Like, honestly, I just think that I don't like Cassandra Clare's writing. I think I can just say it, I don't like it. But anyway, so I was just angry at that book, and then I tried reading different Mafia romances, but each one just triggered me more because some of them were just poorly written, and others had characters where I was like, are you a 12-year-old child? What's wrong with you? So, I then read one last Mafia book, which was this one, Owned by a Sinner. It's book 2 in the series because I think book 1 had a cheating trope or something. I didn't want to read book 1, so I read book 2, and honestly I shouldn't have because this was probably the worst book I read all month. I think I rated this like 0.75 stars, but I really didn't want to. This was horrible. Then again, what am I expecting? The book is called Owned by a Sinner. Honestly, even though this is the book I read just a few days ago, I don't remember anything about it. I just don't. I did read the book, I didn't finish the book, but throughout the book, I put it down multiple times. Usually when I read a Mafia romance, I don't put the book down. I just read it in one go, and if I don't read it, I will never finish the book. With this one, I picked it up multiple times because it was so bad. And then I finished reading the book while I was on the bus. That was an experience. But maybe that's just not an experience that you should all experience. So yeah. That was March for me. I hope that your March went a lot better than my March. But then again, I also read some good books in March, so I can't even say that the month was bad. It had ups and downs, okay, like any month does. So that was that. I hope you enjoyed the video anyway, because as I said before, I am very scatterbrained. I have no recollection of what I just told you. All I know is that I'm in immense pain right now. And I just want to lay back down. I'm also very sweaty, which maybe is too much information for you, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. So, with that, I'm gonna go.